Everybody does their job. We are going to score so many more goals. But the thing is if you get lazy, if you get complacent, if you get selfish, all of a sudden, all this stuff breaks apart. 20 minutes in, almost 17, 20 in, and so far you can tell the players who have played under Ferguson before, it's almost like a duck in water. You see Nathan Thompson and Joe Ward down the right-hand side. You can definitely see that they have an understanding and they know exactly what their role is. Cipriano is not quite up to speed just yet, but you know, it's still early in the game. Hopefully they start to figure out how to play within the system, but definitely see all of the ingredients of a Darren Ferguson team controlling the possession a little bit more than we've seen in recent weeks. So it's been good. Taylor looks like a different player under Ferguson. He looks like he actually believes in what he's doing again, which is great to see. Oh, come on! Stay on it! Come on, Taylor! We've only seen it once or twice so far in the half. We're 27 minutes in, where JCH makes himself a huge target and drops underneath to Poku or Mason Clark. He could definitely be more involved, but overall, it's starting to look like a POSH team again. Mason Clark just wide. But you can see that he and Jack Taylor are the most forward-thinking players at the moment. Every time that they get the ball, they're thinking about going forward. There's been a few times where we played negative, where we really didn't need to in any way, shape, or form. You know, you've got Joe Ward out on the right-hand side. He's playing it back into his center back when he had Dan Butler springing down the left-hand side. It's coming. You can see that it's coming, but it's taking time. Nathan Thompson and Joe Ward, they just know each other. Yeah, I love it. They're not fully in sync yet, but you can see that they read each other just so much better than most of the other players. I know that it's not coming off just yet, but if we score in these next 10 to 14 minutes, it's going to come down the right side. All right, Mason, Johnson Clark-Harris on his own with 25 yards out. That's the speed game isn't his thing. He's got to hold that up to bring some more players in. Yes, it bounced over the player's head and he was 1v1, but even in that, he's not winning that foot race. Just doesn't happen. 38 minutes in. So far, the game actually is working to our advantage with it being an away game and everything like that. But in the second half, Fergie's going to have to figure out who he wants to pull off in order to put Marriott in. This game is screaming for us to go with a 4-back and 2 up front. I'm not sure if you go with Poku coming off or Mason Clark, but the thing is this game is just screaming for us to put 2 up front, and I think that Marriott's going to be the difference. At the moment, I'd be taking Poku off, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, just saying the same things. Unfortunately, just not reading each other well enough. The decisions are coming a half a second too slow, and therefore, not committing to the front ball when people aren't reading it well. JCH could definitely be more of a target. Cipriano gets the ball. He should be looking for that forward pass, but because of the fact that he's just not confident that the run is going to be there, he's playing the negative ball, and we're playing ourselves into the back. It's not great. but you can see all the seeds of what we're trying to do, or what a typical Ferguson team tends to do. We needed to come off. The players don't know it yet. You can see it with the players who have played with him before. You've got Taylor, who obviously is looking for those positive balls right away. Thompson and Ward playing down the right-hand side. They read each other. You can see that the game is going to come from that side at the moment, but it's just not there yet. Just not reading enough of each other well enough. It's coming, but it's just slow. First half, not bad, not great. There were a bunch of positives, especially if you look at it from a, players getting into the Fergie style of play again. You start to see certain players who understand what he's looking for and getting it. Jack Taylor being one. He's definitely starting to hit his stride on playing positive balls and things like that. Again, Nathan Thompson and Joe Ward down the right. The thing that I'm interested to see, and not everybody, but people are going to whine about the fact that in the second half, what we really need to do is we need to go to probably the diamond. And if we do that, we're actually going to win the match. But the thing is people want to complain about the manager who's come back. Now it's the manager who's come back for the fourth time, and he's also using a style that everybody complains that he always uses. But if it's successful, who really gives a crap? All right? The whole entire thing is if we win the match, that's the most important thing. So going to a diamond, I would like to see Mason Clark out on the left. Poku gets pulled. You put Marriott up top, and you end up with a much more progressive feel to it. Even though you're going with a back four, your outside backs like Butler and Thompson don't have to worry as much about the ground that they have to cover. That's the only place that we've run into problems so far. Butler has to cover a lot more ground because of the fact that Mason Clark's not pulling back on the defensive side. Now, whether or not you go to Harrison Burroughs to cover that, then you've got great balls coming in from Burroughs and Ward on the two respective sides. I'd love to see it, but ultimately we'll see what ends up happening. I think that this game is there for the taking if the pitch will hold up well enough, but ultimately we've got the pieces to win this match, and we've already shown flickers of who we are as a team under Darren Ferguson. I want to see more of it. I want to see the guys to start to read each other just that little bit better. JCH and Jack Taylor should know each other well enough at this point to play in concert together in order to move the ball forward. But we're just not seeing enough of that. There's just not enough pieces falling together just yet. It's coming, but it's just not there yet. Oh yeah, this first half analysis was brought to you by Pure Leaf Tea. They actually don't give me any money. I just drink a lot of it. So maybe, eventually, sponsors, love to see you guys, okay? Considering the fact that I drink so much of your tea, maybe I'm giving you too much money? I don't know. Discount? We'll figure it out. All right? Thanks. Bye. Love seeing it. Love seeing it. Progressive ball. Yep. Come on. Let's put in a service. Not there. Yep. Come on, Cipriano. Be positive. Be positive. That's a good thought there. Cipriano actually saw it, but we just got a little bit ahead of it. Mason Clark did. A little bit of combination down the right side. Coming back. Center of the goal. Yes! Yes! All right. Yes. Cross in from Ward. Goes to JCH, puts it back across the face of the goal. Beautiful, beautiful. That's exactly what we want to be doing. Comes from just a little bit of combination down that right side with the understanding of the players who know what they're supposed to be doing. Jack Taylor is where it starts. Ends up at JCH on the far side, and then Mason Clark in the center. Love it. Love it. That's a posh goal for sure. Credit to JCH. He was in a poor position to go to goal, but I've seen over the years plenty of players who tried to score from that type of an angle because of the fact that you're just thinking about, scoring rather than doing what's best for the team. Perfect drop ball from the head. And that is, yet again, Joe Ward doing what he does better than most people in this league is put the ball across the front of the net. Close again. Johnson Clark-Harris right there. Poku had the ball, put it across. It was a decent ball. It was a decent take. And one of the things that I'm seeing, on the corner kicks, we've got to get players in motion. Too much standing on the corner kick plays. Get those players in motion so that they're actually moving towards the goal when they're trying to strike it. You're just not going to get the power that you need off of a cross into the box with a player who's standing. And at this point in their careers, the players should know this. There should be a lot more motion on our corner kick plays. It was a problem last time. We brought in a coach. It didn't work out, but hopefully we can figure that crap out. We're starting to look like Posh again. We just got to get that final ball, that one little bit of extra quality. We're right there. You're seeing a lot of the motion. You're seeing a lot of the reading what the next pass is and people running off that second ball. It's coming. Just needs a little bit of extra quality. And I know, again, the pitch is not helping. Oh, Nathan Thompson across. Beautiful. All right. Hit it, Jack. Left foot's not for Jack. Sorry, Jack. Down the right side again. Here we go. Joe Ward across in the back of the net. Mason Clark. Love it. Beautiful little run from Joe Ward, doing exactly what a Ferguson team does. And this is one of the things that I just don't understand, why people have such a problem with him coming back, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to get results. You're going to get free-flowing play, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is like, the players just need to realize on their side of things, it's not a selfish man's game. He creates teams that score loads of goals. And it's because of the fact that everybody is working for each other. If everybody does their job, we are going to score so many more goals. But the thing is if you get lazy, if you get complacent, if you get selfish, all of a sudden, all this stuff breaks apart. And he does not have the success that he would normally have because of the fact that players are buying into the idea of, oh, well, if I don't get mine, then forget everybody else. That's just not the way that a Ferguson team works. As soon as everybody buys in, everybody reaps the benefits. But if you're worried about your goals or your assists or your touches or your whatever, then everybody gets hurt because of the fact that it doesn't work any other way. I'm sorry to say, pick out one player. One player that I'm worried about right now, Will Norris. Not sure that he understands particularly how to play within a team like this. I'm not. I might understand why we had to bring him in, solidify things a little bit. He's experienced. I got it, and everything. But either he hasn't figured it out yet, or he doesn't have it in himself. Bergstrom early season seemed to have a much better idea of what his role was than what Norris has at the moment. But it's his first game, so. I'm nitpicking at this point. It's not been a problem yet. He just lingering on the ball just a little bit too long, putting himself into bad positions at times. I love seeing Nathan Thompson on the field when the starting lineup was named, I loved seeing the fact that his name was on the team sheet. It's like having a coach on the field. The only issues with Nathan Thompson, and again, I love having that guy on the field, is possibility for cards. He's got to keep his temper about him. And then the other piece is being discerning about when he should go forward. He's absolutely spectacular at it when he makes his runs forward. Sometimes he brings something to the game that was missing, that just little bit of forward thinking, but just got to be a little bit more diplomatic. You're in your 30s, Nathan. I love you, but just be diplomatic. 70th minute. I know we're ahead 2-0, but if you want to keep Jack Marriott at the club, you got to give him a sniff at this point. I know that we're not chasing the game. We're ahead. We want to protect the lead, obviously, and everything like that, but got to give the guy a sniff. Otherwise, he's going to be gone. I love Jack Marriott. I'm sorry. I know that, JCH is supposed to be our guy, but we really should have sold him directly after getting promoted to the championship last time. He was at his highest for value at that point, and we should have cashed in that value that year rather than hanging on. And because now we're in a position where we need to play based on him. Oh, yes, that was almost there, Poku. But that's the thing, is we've become, our style of play is dictated by him rather than what's best for us. And I think that we would have been better served to cash in on him right after we got, whoever, I forget who wanted to buy him, but we should have cashed in for sure, especially with how things went with him early in the season in the championship. But that's just my opinion. Poku's had a much better second half. He's come alive in a lot of different spaces. He's actually shown a little bit of quality. So definitely much better second half. Again, want to see Marriott get a run out here. We've got to change things up a little bit. It's gotten a little bit stale in the last few minutes, and I think that we still, despite the fact that we're leading 2-0, I don't think a Darren Ferguson team should probably ever stop going for goal. I know that I'm playing myself or dating myself a little bit back to the McLean and Mikhail Smith and those guys, like where we were always going forward. I think we need to continue that. I think we need to go back to that. Need to go forward. Need to put more goals in. Norris with the left-footed kick, again, almost completely out of bounds. It's not his best game. Favorite left-footed kicker, favorite left-footed kicking goalkeeper from the back in the day, Shwan Jalal. That's a name. If you remember who Shwan Jalal is, there you go. That was in the early days of Ferguson. Yeah, I feel kind of bad, like Mark Tyler got replaced very early in Ferguson's tenure, and I don't know how they still work together. I don't know if there was ever any bad blood there. But anyway, just a little side note. Okay, just won the ball. Burrows down the middle. You've got options. Yes, love it. Unselfish. Oh, now we got to get a shot off. Not quite there, but got an opportunity. I love the unselfishness from Burrows to lay off to JCH. Unfortunately, it didn't come off. Okay, it's a final. 2-0 POSH. Knew it was going to happen. As soon as the players started playing in a Darren Ferguson style, definitely strengths. 100%. The right-hand side, Thompson, Ward, to a certain extent, Poku, those guys all played well within themselves. Jack Taylor, man reinvented by playing under a manager that actually works to his strengths, or maybe he believes in himself a little bit more under Ferguson. I'm not sure which one it is, but ultimately he looked like a totally different player than I've seen recently. He was invisible at long stretches of games under Grant McCann. Mason Clark, absolutely. You're seeing a lot of possibility out of him. He's just got to put a few more things together. JCH does what JCH does. He's big up top. Started to play with him as more of a point in the second half. It was better. And the rest of the team played well enough. Weaknesses: Cipriano needs to be more forward thinking. If he's going to keep his spot, he's got to play the ball forward. Fuchs can do the job of breaking up play and then finding somebody who's better with the ball at their feet. If Cipriano is going to be in there, he's got to make better decisions moving forward. Otherwise, he's going to be easily replaced. And then Will Norris. All right, first game. I'm giving you a little bit of a pass on this whole entire thing. You got to get rid of the ball quicker and make slightly better decisions with what you do with the ball. Not bad. I mean, it's a goalkeeper brought in on loan. If it's a situation where Bergstrom is definitely going back to Chelsea, and I haven't heard word that that's definitive yet, but he seemed to be a better option earlier in the season. I didn't see anything out of Norris that makes me believe that he is the answer, especially, I know that we just sent Cartwright back, but Blackmore looked all right in the last game that I saw him, but who knows? The overall story of the game is we won away and also looked relatively organized. And this being the first game back under this regime, now you can start to see that, okay, if people start to understand their role just that much better, you can go in a different direction. Another negative for the game: Marriott not getting in. Unfortunately, it's a situation where we're going to lose him, and that money might help. I don't know what the financial situation is. I don't understand any of that. So, we'll see what ends up happening. But you're not going to keep a player like that happy with him getting 0 minutes. So I don't know what the plan is there long term. Maybe Wrexham are going to come in with big money for him. The whole American thing. But anyway, match reaction. This is definitely a good start to the fourth regime of Darren Ferguson.